What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Off the Grid, our Marvel Secret Invasion review. Guys, you'll notice a bit of a different setup here because my laptop, my old laptop that was connected to this TV, just died. The laptop that I use, my Surface Pro, for my editing, I then moved this over, hooked it up to the TV, so I'm now recording on my phone, cinematic mode. It's actually probably a better shot, so this might be a blessing in disguise, but either way, guys, thanks for checking out Project Potter. Thanks for checking out our Marvel Secret Invasion review. My name is Kyle. We got the workshop here, guys, Project Potter Dream Maker. Actually, I still got my coffee up here, so we'll move that. That's better. The workshop, you know what? We got a PlayStation controller up here. Guys, we're doing this on the fly, okay? We got our headphones here. Basically, everything that I don't want to be here, we're good now, guys. The workshop, Project Potter Dream Maker, the Sacred Symbols, the Off the Grid backdrop here. What I do, guys, is go through my thoughts on the episode, favorite character, least favorite character, score out of 10. This is episode 4 of 6, so here we go. Probably the best episode so far, and I have mixed feelings about this. Did we really need an Emilia Clarke fake out death for her to come back immediately in the opening? I guess so. I guess the point is that Gravik's like, don't worry, she was the mole, I took care of her, and it's like, you actually didn't take care of her. I was just like, it's hard for me to kind of care about these scrolls when like, she's like flipping levers and stuff, and she like somehow like transferred her mind into the body, but then it like went into like the heart of the dead body, but then she became that one, and it's like, what's going on here, dude? Guess what, guys? Cheadle's a scroll. But this is where it loses me, because it's like, this isn't our Don Cheadle, this isn't our Rhodey, because this Rhodey is crazy. He's clearly like a scroll losing his mind. I love Nick Fury gives him like the alcohol. I don't know if scrolls can drink alcohol or if they have a high tolerance, because he like drinks a lot of it, and then the president's like, dude, make sure he gets a large coffee, and then he's like, no, give me a breath mint. And I was like, okay, but this Rhodey is like so arrogant and cocky and out of character, and it's just like, I couldn't really vibe with this, because like, this isn't the Rhodey that we know. So when it was revealed that he was a scroll, duh, everyone guessed that. Okay, but like, again, this isn't our Rhodey. So now I'm like, okay, the real Rhodey's probably somewhere. He's probably in one of those mind things like Emilia Clarke used, and it's kind of like, all right, but like, that reveal didn't hit for me. I did really like, though, the scenes with Nick Fury and his scroll life, and I thought it was some of the best stuff in the MCU TV series, period, since like Loki, dude. Sam Jackson puts on a performance, and the woman who plays his wife is great, and I love how they start in 2012, and they're talking about the Avengers. This is like right after the events of Avengers. And she's like, oh, you know, how did I know that someone I know might be involved in that? And he's like, oh. And then they talk about poetry, and I just want to be dearly beloved. And they go through the whole thing. And he's like, did you get what you want out of this life? And I thought it was really, really powerful to do that and then go back to it at the end. And they have that scene. And Nick Fury's listening in. And Rhodey is like, hey, Fury needs to go. If you keep telling me things that you're not going to do, I'm going to start telling you things that I will do. And I was like, okay, that was a cool line, but again, that's not the Rhodey we know. You know, he's not super aggressive like that, so that's when I started to lose it. It's like, it's not like our Rhodey was acting like our Rhodey, and then it's like, oh my god, he's a scroll. It's like, this is just a scroll pretending to be Rhodey, but he's not really acting like Rhodey. So it's kind of just like, it's just a scroll. And I get it, he's close to the president and stuff, and the whole plot to take out the president, because like Thunderbolt Ross is supposed to take over. And that's going to be, I guess, Harrison Ford now, because the poor guy died that played the original Thunderbolt Ross. It's just like a complicated story. And at first I was like, is Nick Fury working with his scroll wife? But then he's like listening in on her secretly, which I thought was like, okay, here comes Nick Fury. And I was like, dude, I was getting excited because I was like, Nick Fury's back, like Sam Jackson's back. I have that amazing, beautiful scene. He's like, okay, tell me like why you took her, or why you chose that form. And this is apparently the first time he's ever found out, which is kind of weird, but whatever. She tells this beautiful story about how there was like this woman who had like a heart condition in the hospital, and she kept visiting her, and she grew really close. And then she's like, she told me to make 3 promises. She's like, number 1, to, you know, now I forget the promises, so now I'm going to ruin the bit. But she said like, make sure to stay a daughter, or keeping a daughter to her parents, which she did. And then number 3 was don't hurt Nick Fury. And she's like, sorry, darling. And I'm sorry, guys, I completely forgot the first one. But it's kind of weird, because these parents, I guess, like she said, she kept like this heart condition, so I guess her parents didn't know about it, and so the parents, for as long as they knew, that was just their daughter. You know, that's just been their daughter, and they don't know any different. But like, it hasn't been their daughter. It's been the Skrull pretending to be her daughter, and it's just strange, but it's also kind of cool because like she is living the life of this woman, but it's also like that's not the woman, that's just a Skrull. So the whole Skrull thing is starting to get lost on me a little bit, and I will say those scenes were really well acted. I thought the action scenes were really good. The whole like scene at the end, the helicopter and stuff, and Fury coming back, and I was like, okay, and they're like, Fury's here, and it like kind of meant something again. But I gotta say, oh, I'm sorry guys, and the Cheadle and Nick Fury scene, really, really good. Like that was really, really good stuff, and I was like, oh dude, this is Sam Jackson, like really turning back the clock, and like this is vintage Sam Jackson. The one-on-one stuff between Sam Jackson and his wife, and Sam Jackson and Don Cheadle, I thought were excellent, like really, really good stuff. The Talos stuff I also thought was pretty good, but him talking to Emilia Clarke at the beginning, I was like, I don't know, dude, this is weird. And then obviously guys, the big shocker, Talos dying at the end, although it's like, is he really dead? Or are you just gonna fake it out? But how about Gravik, like being there? How did Nick Fury know that that was Gravik as a soldier? Does Nick Fury have something secret in his eye going on? Does he have like a little camera or something like infrared like he did when he put on the owl? Which I'm assuming that lady's coming back, but that seems like kind of a loose thread, and with 2 episodes to go, it's like, is she gonna pop up next time? What was the point of him putting a camera in there? It's just weird, but you know, Nick Fury obviously has a plan to get Cheadle caught. He knows he's a Skrull, and he's like, what if I were to tell you that there is a high-ranking official very close to the president as a Skrull? And he's like, oh yeah? And then like that's when Cheadle kind of started going off. But I do think this was the best one yet. I kind of just quickly go in here, guys, to favorite character. I thought Samuel Jackson just killed it. I thought this was like a reminder of how great of an actor Samuel Jackson is. And I've mentioned in this series, guys, how he's been kind of like all over the place, and I'm like, is he a Skrull? Because he's been kind of like lashing out and stuff, and he's been broken down and stuff. But I thought this was like a Nick Fury is still here type of episode. So I really liked his performance, and I thought Sam Jackson just reminded everyone how great of an actor he is, and I thought he was the best one in this episode. For worst character, I'm actually not going to say anyone was bad character. I thought everyone delivered a strong performance. I thought Talos was pretty good. I thought obviously Nick Fury was the best one. Gravik I thought was cool. He didn't really do much, but Emilia Clarke I thought did have a strong performance, even though her character seems a little lost to me. But I thought all in all, and then Nick Fury's wife, I thought was excellent, dude. She was really, really good. And she's like right along there with Fury, I think, for best character. So I don't really have a worst character, guys. So for this one, we're going to kind of give it a pass and say that everyone kind of carried their weight this episode. The score for this one, it's an 8-8. It is the best one so far, I think, but the reason it's not like in the 9s or like closer to a 10 or anything is because I don't know if I really care about Talos dying, even if he is really dead. First of all, this episode starts with us kind of discovering that like no one's really dead. It's like The Last Jedi, who's like no one's ever really gone. They can just kind of like easily like force their mind into another body or something, and it's like it's Skrull, so it's like anyone could be anyone, and it's a cool, but it's also kind of like messy, and it kind of like takes away from the moment where it's like, would anyone be surprised if Maria Hill wasn't actually dead at the end of the series? No. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring her back. The credits actually said guest starring Kobe Smulders, and I didn't think I saw her in this episode, but maybe I missed it, I don't know. The action was good, there were some one-on-one scenes that were really good, but I'm finding myself losing interest in the story. Even though I think this was a well-made episode, and I think this was the best one, I'm still kind of like, I didn't care about the president, dude, at all. Like, I know he's probably gonna die, and they get him away, or Fury gets him away, and I wouldn't be surprised if like next episode starts with them getting ambushed or something, but I don't care about this guy's the president. Like, this should be a huge thing, like the president of the United States, and I just don't care. There's been no backdrop, there's nothing that like shows us that he's done anything big. Like, he's just like a side character, and it's like, it shouldn't be like that. And I know it's like a world of Marvel and the MCU and stuff, and I'm hoping we get an Avengers cameo, at least like Thor or Cap. That would be really cool, or Robert Downey. Like, I don't know what they can pull for the series, but there's been like heavy mentions of like the Avengers, and they literally like went right back to right after Avengers happened, and she's like, I think you had something to do with this. And it would be disappointing if there's not like a big name that shows up, even if it's just for a quick cameo by the end of the series. So we'll kind of see what happens there. But Again, I'm not really sure where we're going with this season. I'm not really sure what the end goal is. Obviously, Gravik's trying to take over the Earth. They're trying to stop him. Is Gravik gonna like turn into someone else and go away or something? But can we talk about how Gravik has just like straight up kind of embarrassed Nick Fury twice now with Talos, and then the first time when he stepped the bomb, where he just like looks at him and he's like that meme where he's like, "What's up, dude?" And like Nick Fury just has no answer for him. So I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Fury kind of flips out on him in the finale or something when they take out Gravik, or if they take out Gravik. But interested, but I'm not like edge of my seat. But I will say this one did kind of get me closer, and so I enjoyed this one more. But I still kind of found myself kind of just like half paying attention, or if I wasn't doing these reviews, I don't even know if I would still really be watching like day one. But I think it is a step in the right direction. I just don't know if the end destination is going to be something worthwhile. Guys, that's another episode. 4 episodes in, 2 to go. What do you guys think of the show so far? Do you guys agree with my review? Hopefully this new angle looks okay, guys. I might even stick with this going forward. We'll see. Actually, I think I probably have to because my laptop died. But appreciate you guys checking out Project Potter. Go check out the other content. And until next week, guys, trust no one.